and my girl, we were playing a Ouija board. We got a Ouija board in the garage. We had some drinks. We were just playing around with the Ouija board, and something came out of it. Something came out of the Ouija board. It got her. To borrow the house ride. Hey guys, it's Dave and welcome to the Weird Kid Show. It's awesome having you here today. I gotta tell you guys, I'm really excited about today's build. I could be wrong. I don't think anybody's done this yet. I could be wrong though. Here we have a vintage 1972, still in the box, a Ouija board. Okay, made by Parker Brothers. I am not superstitious about a lot of things, but I will not use these things, okay? So I am superstitious about these things, all right? Basically, you're supposed to be able to talk to the dead or spirits through these things, okay? And they date way back. I got a lot of guff from Keith from Cobwebs and Candlesticks about this because he thought I was crazy for destroying a mint vintage Ouija board, but we're going to take one for the team, guys, because I think what we're going to do here is going to be super cool. All right, so we're going to lose this box. Don't need that. Threw that out key style. Here we have the actual board itself, and this thing is beautiful, man. I picked this up at a yard sale for like a couple of bucks. There's no scuffs on it at all. I don't even think that people used it. The box has wear, but that's from sitting on a shelf, probably getting moved around and everything else. The board itself is in freaking minty condition. And then I guess they call this a planket. That is the thing that you put your fingers on and ask the board questions, and it's supposed to move around and da. And that's in good shape too. It's got some yellowing from age. It's got like a little needle on there. I guess that's what actually points to the answer and everything. But we're not going to summon spirits. Although I think this build is called Summoned. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I am going to take this board, alright, and then right about here we're going to cut a hole in it and cut strips in a big circle. Okay, and then we're going to peel that back, and from inside coming out is some kind of a creature, some kind of demonic creature or something that's been summoned, and now it's opened a porthole and it's coming in to our world, okay, to create havoc. And I think I'll mount this on here. I'm going to build a wooden frame around this thing. Alright, so when it's all done, we're going to add some hardware on it, and we're going to be able to hang this on the wall. Alright, so I'm excited about that. I have no idea what the creature's going to end up looking, but it's going to be fun nonetheless, and all you can do is pick up one of these cheap Ouija boards out there and do this yourself. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you and thank you so much for being here. So let's get into this thing. Alright guys, so what I need to do is I need to build a wooden frame around this Ouija board. For one, it'll make it look good hanging on the wall. Two, it's also going to, because keep in mind we're going to be cutting a hole in this thing. Alright, and we're going to be packing some Sculpey in from the backside. We're not going to bake it. Obviously we're going to bake the Sculpey in the oven, but to get the shape of the hole we need to push it in from this side, pull it out, cure it, and then that's going to go in there permanently. So we're going to be bulking up the backside of this. I might do a couple of holes. Who knows? We don't know yet. So building a wooden frame around it will allow you to be able to have some space, and then of course to frame it out and hang it on the wall. Now wood is super expensive right now. I ended up salvaging a piece, okay, and just for starters, I went and cut, I measured out 5 inches and then in 1 inch increments with my jigsaw. I cut out 1 inch strips, okay, and they are the board itself is about 17.5 inches by about 11.5 inches. Okay, so I just cut out these strips, and then we're gonna go ahead and use these to frame this thing out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and finish cutting these out, and then, so the next thing I'm gonna want to do after that is, because this is such thin wood, I'm gonna want to drill a pilot hole before I nail or screw anything in there, otherwise it's going to split. So you can try to find like an old wooden picture frame, maybe remiter cut it to size. There's a lot of things you can do, guys. You don't have to actually go this route, but we want to get this thing framed out so we have space in the back. So I'm gonna get that thing together, and then we're gonna start getting some fun stuff. So hang tight. Again, whatever it is, it got big, it got real big, it grew huge. It ate up into the house. It's trash in the house. I know, I'm not gonna get out of here, please guys. Alright guys, so here's our frame. Alright, so like I said, I just cut out 1-inch strips. Alright, now it's floating in there right now. It's a bit tight and everything, but there's nothing really securing it. So I need to make a decision later whether to attach some strips inside or to just hot glue the whole board in place once I get it in position. I'm not gonna know until I start making the alien or the demonic creature, whatever it is, that's coming out of it, and how much Sculpey's gonna be sticking out the back. So this is how much space we have to play with. So for now, I'm gonna set this aside, and now we're gonna get to that board, the summoned board with our creature. So let me explain to you what I'm going to do. So I got the Ouija board. What I'm going to do is down around here, I'm going to just drill a pilot hole big enough for me to get my jigsaw blade into the hole. And I'm going to cut slivers in a circle all the way around until I got a circle, but it cut in slivers. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take those slivers and peel them back. So basically what's happened is the board split open, and this thing, this entity, this dark spirit from the dark realm has managed to open a porthole thanks to you meddling in these things, and now it's coming into our world. So so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to drill a hole, cut slivers, and then we're going to peel it back. So hang tight, guys, we're progressing here. Alright guys, so this is what I got. As you can see, I drilled a pilot hole in the middle, and then I took my jigsaw and just cut like pizza slices. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push on each one of these. I'm going to bend it up like that, kind of like the Hellraiser box. Okay, so that ripped the paper a little bit, but that's fine because we're going to probably even glue it back like this. And this is where our creature is bursted through the board. I debated on, I wanted to get lower too, because you could put as many holes as you want as well. You know, you could put a hole over here to have like a little tentacle. I thought about doing that, but I think I'm going to go simple this time, because sometimes less is more. So, alright, so I'm going to use some pliers to have more of a control on this so I don't rip too much of it, although I'm not really too concerned that much, but I would like to have some, you know, it'd be a bit easier if you use some pliers, and that way you have some more strength and control. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to come back, then we're going to get into the Sculpey version of this build. So hang tight, guys. Alright guys, here we are, we're back, and as you can see, I peeled back all those pieces, and then I glued them for the most part, and like some of this I left hanging out a little bit. You know, you can have it, you can glue it in place like that, or you can glue it flat. For the most part I glued it flat. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to probably secure that. You can use hot glue. If you want to get it at an angle, you might want to try to hot glue around the inside, because this is going to be hidden once we're done. Alright, so now we have our hole. Now it's time to make our creature. And so for that, I'm just going to use regular original Sculpey. Comes in 1 pound bricks. Alright, I've already got a half of brick here already. And so I'm warming it up with my hands. It's going to require quite a bit of Sculpey, because we got to fill this whole thing in, and we're going to have appendages and whatever. So we're going to need the Sculpey. Wouldn't hurt to have some sculpting tools, baby oil, or some other clay softener, some Primo polymer teeth, which we're going to cover that in a bit, and then some glass cabochons. You can use various sizes, but I just got these new ones in here, so I want to go ahead and try these. So we're going to see how that works. But first thing I need to do, I'm going to go ahead and first of all make sure my surface is clean. Just knead out a pancake, kind of, if you will. Alright, and the thing I'm going to want to do now first is I'm going to want to put this underneath, and I'm going to want to pancake it on there. I want to get that shape. Alright, that's going to tell us how big that hole is. So what we're really not going to want to do, although it's not going to kill us if we have to trim, but it would be ideal if I can work within this shape. Alright, so we're going to want to build this up. This is going to be our template. And so what I think I'm going to do to secure our template, make sure it's got a good definition of it. Push it in all the way around so we get a good imprint on that clay. Alright, so there's our imprint. Okay. What I think I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and bake this so that I have my permanent template that I'm going to be able to build off of from the inside. Okay, if that makes sense. So I'm going to do that now. Then we're going to talk about putting this thing together. So hang tight, guys. It's getting fun now. So that template, the base for our build, is in the oven, curing, baking. I put it at 275 for about 25-30 minutes. That's all it should take care of it. But while that's in there, I can go ahead and do some stuff here. This here, as I've explained to you before, is a Sculpey product. This is Primo translucent clay. You can get this at Hobby Lobby and a number of other places. I find it at Amazon. And I find this is the best stuff to use to make teeth. And so this creature here is gonna have sharp translucent teeth. And I already made a bunch of these, and it's the same thing as with the Sculpey. You just roll it out to a fine point and then put it on a baking sheet, and then bake it in the oven. Same thing, 275, about 15 minutes. You want to keep an eye on these because they will burn and it will discolor. I decided on some eyes. Check out those little bad boys. Something like demonic from hell. And I think he's gonna have 3 eyes. All right, so we know that this piece here in the middle is going to be coming up. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Sculpey and just go ahead and I can put it in here and just kind of you know, pancake it around a little bit here. I'm going to use this as a template, but I want to open it up a little bit there because I can always attach this piece to the other piece once it's out of the oven. Alright, so I can put this aside now. And I've got a general shape here. Can even move it out a little bit more. And so what I think I'm going to do is I think right about here, I'm going to dig this out. Because that's where I'm going to put our mouth. Alright. So I'm going to remove this clay. Alright, I can move it around a little bit and smooth it out. Use your fingers, use tools, whatever it takes. Okay, so now I got the mouth, and that's gonna paint. I'm gonna be painting that black in there. You're not gonna really see something. You could do some kind of like a little. You could make some kind of a little forked tongue, if you will, if you want to. Like I said, this is up to you guys now. You can do whatever you want. I got all kinds of different tools here. Alright, so I'm going to play around with this, the tongue and the mouth. And then I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you what I did. How I came to the conclusion. So hang tight, guys. Alright, guys, so I want to show you where we're at here. So I just went to work. You know, you gotta just jump in there and try to figure out, unless you have a very crystal clear vision of what you want to do, you gotta jump in there, you know, just experiment. And so I just went ahead and I dug that mouth out, and then I just started placing some teeth. And so then I saw, okay, well, I'm gonna have some gum. I stuck like a little tongue in the back. You're really not gonna see it because it's gonna be pretty dark in there. And then I rolled out some snakes of clay, made some lips, and then I added 3 eyes. You can't see the eyes too good because I was using the baby oil to smooth out the details and the fingerprints, but it's got 3 eyeballs. I pretty much kind of slowed down and stopped. There's no fine detail in this, not by a long shot, because I have to get the other piece out of the oven and attach this to that. And fit it to make sure it's going to work before I go too crazy. So, but this is where we're at, okay? So I'm going to get that other piece, I'm going to attach it, and I'm going to move on. So hang tight, guys. Alright, guys, and that's what I've come up with. It's all done. I put details all in it. Yeah, the eyes are cloudy because they've got the mixture of broken down Sculpey and baby oil, but when it's cured I'll be able to clean them up. They'll shine right up. But yeah, I added some more textures, and I didn't on the tentacles. I imagine them like smooth. Like I said, I envision them as like appendages that are gonna sprout and turn into something once this thing bursts from inside the OUIJA board. Alright, so now what I need to do is I need to pop this stuff in the oven, and then we can move on. We're getting close here to where we're going to start assembling and painting this thing and then hanging it up on the wall. So hang tight, guys, we're getting closer. Alright, guys, so this is out of the oven. I went and put a little bit of super glue just to make sure that those teeth are secure and don't ever come out, and then I went and just polished up the eyes a little bit there just so we can see what this critter is gonna look like. Now I keep envisioning black for some reason. Like, we can do a dry, I want to paint it black, but not just black. There's a color I like, or a lack of a color, but this is a folk art, or actually, sorry, it's an Apple Barrel product, and it's called Pavement. So it's kind of like a charcoal, and I like that. I've always liked that. That's one of my go-tos. I'll take that. I got some True Red and that wine color that we used on the tentacle, and I just got that. I got some white here and everything. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and I'm gonna go ahead and glue this in there. Alright, so that's what we need to do first. And I got my hot glue gun here, and it's all ready. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a good bead around this thing. Spread it out as much as I can. I want to move fast because that stuff does set up pretty quick. Go around there. I want the center. I don't want to touch the sides. Just get that in there and pop it through. Get a little bit of work time here to position it. Perfect. That's what I'm going to go with right there. Push it down. Now there could be some gaps. I can already see like there's some gaps around here where the Sculpey is uneven, but that's okay too because we can. I just need this to set up a little bit, enough to where it's going to hold it, and then I can turn it over and then fill in gaps and really reinforce it with the hot glue. All right, but it's in the position that I want it to be in, and we got our. I want to put it on top of our tentacle though. I got my 2 tentacles. Now when I was testing these out, I was putting in uncured Sculpey into these things, and of course they were going in no problem because they was uncured. But now that they're out, they're not wanting to go in as much. I gotta figure out which was where. I might have done. Actually, no, I don't have to do anything. They'll glue right in there. So yeah, I'm gonna want to glue those in there. But first, I want to deal with this first. All right, so I'm gonna set those aside. It's already secured. When I'm going back over here, now you can see there's gaps in here. All right, so I'm gonna just take my glue gun and just fill in those gaps. Tie it in real good. Make this part of the board all the way around. I like hot glue. Does seem to do a lot with it. I just got this gun today, in fact, a new one. Picked up a new one. I got a good one, but I'll be darned if I can't find it. That happens too, you know, you keep moving around, and, you know, I'm still in transition from the weird kid shed to the new studio here, which is inside the house. And I'm more comfortable in here. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. We're going to flip it over. I'm going to put those tentacles on there, so hang tight. Alright, guys. There we have him. He's all glued in place. He's not going anywhere, that's for sure. I really put the hot glue to it. It's in there. It's got hot glue all around it. It's got hot glue on the side. And I even went a step ahead and drizzled like some super glue around the edges and stuff like that. But you could use 5-minute epoxy if you want to, if you're really worried about it coming loose. But it's not going anywhere. I'm not worried about it. I hot glued the tentacles in, but then I also drizzled super glue around the edges and let it permeate and stuff. So now we're ready to paint. But what I'm going to have to do first is I'm going to have to get inside that mouth. Okay, and for that I took some of this wine, Anita's acrylic wine, and some of that pavement, because I want it dark in there. And that was a cheap brush. Yeah, so I want it dark in there, and not to be like, you know, you're gonna see it's got an open mouth, but it's not like the focal point where I need to really get into major details in there. So I'm mixing up a really dark maroon, and I'm getting in there, and I'm just gonna slop it around. I already know I'm gonna get some on the teeth. I'm not worried about that because with something sharp like a razor knife or one of my sculpting tools, I'm going to be able to get in there and scrape the paint off the eyes without any problems. Well, eyes and the teeth too. Alright, so we're not going to worry about getting on there. The tongue, I'm not going to do anything to make the tongue stand out too much. Not worry about that. I hope you guys try this because this is super fun. I think it's a cool concept. I hope you guys like it. Like I said, maybe there's been people that have done this. I don't know, but I've not seen it. If there are, please drop me a link. I want to see. I want to check it out. I want to see what other people are doing. If not, and you guys like this and want to do it, go on over to the Trio of Terror and share it over there. I want to see it. I want to see what you guys come up with. I always love when you guys try to do my builds, or even my brothers, you know, Keith from Cobwebs and Candlesticks and Vic from Monster Misfits. Whenever you guys, you know, when we inspire you to the point where you guys want to try to build what we build and put your own spin on it, we love that. I know it's pretty safe to say I can speak for the guys when I say that. We love that stuff. Okay, guys, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to give this a chance to dry. I might do see if I can do a little dry brush. But most importantly, off camera, I'm going to clean the teeth because I'm not going to sit there and bore you to death with that. So, hang tight. Alright, guys, so that inside's all painted. Alright, and now what I did was I took some of that red and some white and mixed up. Started to get, I don't want it completely pink yet, but I want to start getting to pink. So I'm painting this here on the gums, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back through and then do a dry brush on top of that. And by doing that, I'm just going to add some more white to the pink, and then start blending it in, making it pop. What I think I'm going to do after, when this is all done, is I'm going to give it a glossy clear coat. That way it looks kind of wet, you know, it's all slimy and wet. Alright, so I'm going to keep on that, and I'm going to come back and move on to the next step. Alright, guys, so I went ahead and I painted those gums that red, and after it dried a little bit, I went ahead and dry brushed some white on there. You might notice I got some paper tucked under this tentacle. That's to mask it off when I get the painting. So the creature itself, pretty cut and dry. Some of you might find it boring, but it's what I envision at this point in time. And that's just simply, I'm going to paint it this pavement black, the whole thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a dry brush on top of that. So, and the reason being is because you've got these eyes that are kind of like brimstone, fire and brimstones from hell, and he's coming from the darkness, and I just envision him being all black, you know, just coming out and morphing into whatever it is he becomes. So yeah, basically that's all I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to get in there with my brush and just start painting this thing black. I won't bore you with that. You know how to paint something solid color. So I'll leave you to that and we'll come back. This should all be painted. And then I'll do a little bit of the dry brushing with you. And then we're going to go ahead and mount this thing, get it ready. We're going to put the placard on there. Placard, whatever you call it. We're going to glue that on there. And then we're going to go ahead and throw it in the frame. Hang it up. So hang tight, guys. And there we go. I painted the whole thing that pavement black. And then now I'm just going ahead and I taking some white, mixing it in with that pavement black, making a lighter gray. I'm gonna go ahead and do some dry brushing over the top of this. I already did a little test here to make sure I was gonna like it, and so I'm just gonna lightly dust. Nothing crazy, just to bring out some highlights, make those wrinkles pop. And make it stand out. And along the tentacle. Got some bristles coming off this brush. I'm going to have to pick them off here before it dries in there. About due for some new brushes. Do you guys go through a lot of brushes? I do. I try this, but it's been a while since I bought them, so I've been working on with some old brushes for a while. Alright, so pick all those little... Alright, so now it's got some character, but I think I can even go a step further and not go too crazy. I might try this taupe, the gray. Just lightly dust it. Just see what that does. Now, I didn't even clean my brush, so I still got some of that charcoal in there. Still got some of that white. Go ahead and get most of that off of there. Oh yeah. I'm liking that. I'm liking that. I like how that looks. Yeah. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to work on this thing. And we're going to come back. I'm liking that. I hope you guys did too. That was pretty cool. So I'm going to keep on this. I'm going to come back and we're going to move on to the next step. So hang tight, we're getting there. Our creature's coming to life. Alright guys, it is done. So I went ahead and dry brushed the rest of the creature, and then I took 2X glossy clear coat and sprayed it down and give it that wet look. Alright, I'm pleased with how he came out. There's 2 things left, or actually 3 things left. I need to mount this on here. I need to figure out where I want this. I'm going to glue it on there. And the frame. I'm going to do the frame right now. So you remember those pieces of wood we cut out in the beginning? Well, it had all been nailed together. And I went and spray painted it black, and then I dry brushed some light gray onto it just to make it look a bit weathered. And so all I'm going to do with this is I'm going to, first of all, figure out what side I want for the front. So I think I want this for the front. I'm going to go ahead and try to fit that in there. I know that's a little bit snug in a few spots, which is good. I want that. It's going to work to my advantage. Alright. And then once I get it in the position that I want, then what I'm going to do is just simply tack it in increments in the back all the way around with hot glue. It's going to hold it. It'll hold it. So don't worry about that. And then I need to attach some hardware on here so that we can hang it on the wall. Alright, and you can even go a step further if you so choose, which I might do that. And that's to cover the back with something. So hang tight guys, I'm going to work on this. Next time you see it, it's going to be done. Alright guys, there you have it. Summoned. So yeah, this was a super fun build. I'm so glad I did this one. I had a lot of fun with it. Just put some hardware in the back and hung it up on there. I don't have anything to cover the back, but you might want to get like some kind of a material or something that you can staple it on the back or glue it on the back. That way you can hide what you have in the back there. But I did mount this piece of hardware in there that I can take out when I cover it next time. I might do a bit more aging around the frame. As you can see, I found a spot. I kind of liked where I put it. It says yes. It's pointed at yes, although I'm sure you're supposed to have the yes in there, but it's pointed at yes. So this thing coming out of the board, you'd be screaming no, and he's saying yes. Okay, so there is our summoned OUIJA board demon. I hope you like it. I hope you try it yourself. Do different combinations. Anyways, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for supporting me. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe and hit that bell. It's going to notify you when I upload future videos, and there's so much more coming. I got some big ideas, guys. Go check out my brothers, Keith Cobwebs and Candlesticks, and Vic Springston from Monster Misfits. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you so much. And until next time, peace. Please, whatever you do, don't ever use one of those things. Don't use an OUIJA board. They found a way in.